Meta is at 623.66. My average cost is 636.66. That's down 2%. SpaceX is at 116 against an average of 148.95, down 22%. The account is worth $626.97 against $670 invested, down $43.80, down 6.5%. Everything I own is red. Today alone, the account dropped $24.05, that's 3.2%, in a single session. That's more than half my total loss arriving in one day. I bought this week already. I'm not buying again until next week, and I'm not selling anything. I want to sit in that for a minute because this is the exact point where most people quit. Not when they are down 50%, when they're down 6%. 6% is a dangerous number. 6% is small enough that you can still get out clean, and that's what makes it seductive. 50% feels like a hurricane you just survived. There's nothing left to protect. 6% feels like a decision. It feels like a window closing. The urge to act is not stupidity. It's wiring. Your brain processes losing money along a lot of the same pathways a physical threat. And the resolution to a threat is action. Sitting still while the numbers go down feels like negligence. It feels like watching a fire and not reaching for water. But investing is one of the very few places in life where the correct move, most of the time, is nothing. And nothing is the hardest thing a human being can be asked to do. Nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm showing you what I do with my own money and the reasoning behind it, so you can judge the results for yourself. Investing involves real risk, including the loss of your principal. Do your own research. Let me show you the actual damage, because the headline number hides something important. Of my $43.80 in losses, $33.18 of it is SpaceX. That's 76% of my total losses coming from a position that it's only 19% of my portfolio. Meta, 81% of this account, has lost me $10.62. $10.62. That is what my largest position is in the red actually cost me. That's lunch. So when I say the portfolio is down 6.5%, what I'm really saying is that one small speculative bet is dragging the entire number, and the core of the strategy has barely moved. Those are two completely different situations wearing the same red font. If you only look at the top line percentage, you would never know the difference. And that's true of your account too. The headline number is almost always the least useful number on the screen. Same thing with today's move. The account fell 3.2% in one session, but SpaceX fell 6.1% and Meta fell 3.1%. One of those is a volatile pre-revenue story stock doing exactly what volatile story stocks do. The other one is one of the largest businesses on earth having an ordinary bad Tuesday. Treating those two moves as the same event is how people end up making one panicked decision that covers both. This is why I keep saying position sizing is the entire game, not stock picking. Sizing. SpaceX is down 22%, and I feel close to nothing because I capped it at $150. If SpaceX went to zero tomorrow, I lose $150. That's a real loss of real money, and it would annoy me for about a day. It would not change one single thing about my life. My rent gets paid. I don't have to sell Meta to cover it. I don't have to explain it to anybody. I don't have to change my plan. That's why I can hold it forever. Not because I have some unshakable conviction in SpaceX. I don't. I've already admitted on this channel that buying it broke my own rules, and that averaging into it was me acting on feel instead of thesis. I can hold it because I sized it so that being wrong is affordable. That's the whole trick, and almost nobody talks about it because size your positions so you can survive being wrong doesn't sell courses. If you are in a position right now where a drawdown is focusing you to sell something you didn't want to sell, the market did not do that to you. Your position size did that to you. Meta is a different animal. Meta is the method. The rule is simple. Buy quality companies while they're trading below their all-time high, small amounts every single week, and stop adding, not sell, stop adding when a new all-time high prints. Then go find the next quality company that's on sale. Meta's all-time high is around 796. It's at 623.66 right now. That's roughly 27% of room before I'm even finished buying. So the fact that Meta's below my average cost isn't bad news for this strategy. Mechanically, it's the opposite. Here's what that actually means for next week with real numbers. Right now, I own about 0.8 of a share at an average cost of $636.66. If I put another $100 in next week at today's price, I get about 0.16 of a share, and my average cost drops from $636.66 to roughly $634.50. $2. That's it. That's the whole move. I'm showing you that because I want to be honest about what dollar cost averaging actually does at small account sizes. It is not dramatic. It doesn't rescue anything. It's a $2 improvement on a position that's down $10. Anyone selling you the idea that averaging down is a powerful weapon is selling you something. What it is instead is repeatable. It's a $2 improvement I can make every week for the next 20 years without predicting anything. I don't have to know where the bottom is. I don't have to be right about the quarter. I just have to keep showing up. Over 10 years, that mechanical, boring, unimpressive $2 move compounds into a cost basis that people who waited for the perfect entry will never touch. The only investor who should be upset about a temporary dip is one who's about to sell. I'm not selling for decades, and I'm a net buyer for the next 20 years. Cheap is the entire point. That sounds completely obvious when you say it out loud, and almost nobody behaves like it's true. Buffett said it in his first interview since stepping down as CEO. Everybody wants quick money. That's the problem. Not that people are stupid, not that they don't know what a good business is. They just want the outcome faster than the outcome is available. And I want to be honest about something that separates this account from the rest of what I do, because I think it's the most useful thing in this video. I have other portfolios, aggressive ones. I trade those actively. I buy, I sell, I take profits, I cut losses. I react to what's in front of me. That's where my trading edge lives, and that's where I execute on short time frames. I'm not pretending I've never sold a stock in my life. This account is not that. This is the lifetime account. This is money I've deliberately decided not to be clever with. Keeping those two things surgically separated is the only reason either one works. The moment I start trading this portfolio because it's down 6%, it stops being a long-term compounding engine and becomes just another account I'm going to churn until it's flat. Most people don't have two strategies. They have one strategy and one mood. And the mood keeps overriding the strategy. So what would actually make me sell? Not price. Price is not information about a business. Price is information about what other people are feeling this week. What would make me sell is the thesis breaking. For Meta, that looks concrete. The core advertising business structurally declining rather than cycling dipping. Capital allocating going somewhere I can defend at a scale that threatens the balance sheet. Users leaving the platform and not coming back. Management I stopped believing. Those are business events, and none of them happened this month. What happened this month is that the stock went down $13 from my average cost. For SpaceX, honestly, the thesis was thin from the start. That's the confession I already made. So the discipline there isn't when do I sell? It's I don't add another dollar. It's capped. It stays small. It stays separate from the method picks so that when I show you the method's results in 5 years, its performance isn't contaminated by a bet I made on feel. I'm also going to say the uncomfortable thing, since this channel is worth nothing if I only show up on the good weeks. It might get worse. Down 6.5% could be down 15% next month, down 25% by the end of the year. I have no idea. And neither does anyone making confident predictions on this platform, including the ones with 100,000 subscribers and a chart with lines on it. What I do know is that the plan doesn't contain a clause for that. There's no line in the method that says unless it's down 20%. That's the entire reason you write rules before you're scared. The version of you that writes the plan is smarter, calmer, and better informed than the version of you watching red numbers at 9:30 in the morning. If the rules bend the first time they're tested, they were never rules. They were a preference. Next week, I add another $100 to Meta, not because I think this is the bottom, not because I have a read on the market, because it's below its all-time high, and next week is a buying week. The week after that, the same thing. And the week after that, and the week after that. The only real edge a small retail investor has over the professionals is that nobody's grading your quarterly. No client is pulling money out of your fund after a bad 6 weeks. You can be wrong for 2 years and still win, as long as you don't sell. Use that. It's the only advantage you get, and most people trade it away in the first month.